Hello! I've seen a few videos and posts about the current state of VTubing on Linux, and I wanted to give it a try. I had suspected originally that since there's a lot of smaller niche applications, compatibility and interactive communication would be limited. This is something that was technically possible, but outside the realm of expectations that I would have for the average user. However, after reading the guide from KyloNecko on how to get started, most of my concerns went away. What I'd like to do today is test the guide and the applications out, go through the configuration process, and document my experience. Surprisingly, I am not a VTuber. But I have some friends and family who are. Some have expressed interest in moving away from Windows, especially with Windows 10 being end of life in October, and have asked about compatibility. Now, for the majority of the applications they use, I can answer that very quickly, but I haven't tested these specific applications out yet. So, the plan. Using a spare laptop, I want to run some tests and see how everything fits together, and log any problems that occur. I'll wipe the laptop, put a fresh install of, well, it was supposed to be PeakOS, but I ran into some errors during the installation where I couldn't capture the screen properly. So we switched to Bazite, but I also don't really like that. I'll explain more of that later. So we're going to stick with Bazite for now, but I'll address that, as I said, later on. Once booted into Bazite, I saw that most of what I needed was installed, but grabbed OBS and bottles as well. VTube Studio was the first thing to install, and this is the model and movement application that's captured by OBS. It's free on Steam, quick download and Proton change, and it launched without any issues. The guide does suggest adding some network configuration changes to it, but other than that, it was really simple. It even comes with some free models for us to test out. VBridge is also on Steam and allows for better face quality motion capture. This uses an iPhone's Face ID sensor to get incredibly accurate facial movements. Setting this up was even less work than VTube Studio. I'm pretty sure it took me longer to do the network configuration inside the program than it did to actually get the application working. Once installed, I changed the Proton version, set up the network functionality, and connected it to VTube Studio. This is usually where Sprout 2 would be used, with OBS allowing it to capture picture from VTube Studio. The issue is that Sprout 2 does not work on Linux at the time of recording. I did see Asahi Lena working on Linux compatibility recently. Hopefully in the future we can utilize it. The good news is that game capture options in OBS are still functional. Adding the correct flag to the launch command allows OBS to see VTube Studio, and everything fell into place. Next is TITS, which allows for the audience to interact with the model, typically by throwing predetermined objects at the streamer. This isn't on Steam, but itch.io. This is where I started to deviate from the guide provided by KyloNecko. It suggested that TITS and Mix It Up are installed via bottles. While I initially planned on following the guide, after installing bottles, I ran into some permission errors trying to run any application. I didn't feel like troubleshooting this specific issue and figured I would just try installing the applications through Steam itself. This was actually significantly easier. Added the applications, set the Proton version, and it launched without any issues. The final application to test was Mix It Up. I followed the same steps as TITS with having to switch to an older Proton version to fix some weird flashing bug. At this point, I can confidently say that not only is everything working, but it was really easy to set up. If I wanted to, I could have avoided the terminal the entire time. I just chose not to. I'd like to thank KyloNecko for the guide that they've created. It's really straightforward, incredibly simple, and saved me a lot of time. I think next up, we're going to try to pick a distro for them to use. I want something that's easy and, a little bit training wheels for them as they are coming from Windows, and I am their primary technical support. I haven't completely eliminated PeakOS, due to the fact that I think the issues are more related to the laptop and not the OS itself, especially because NVIDIA's involved. And yeah. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe.